as far as like the input that you're describing, this almost sounds like, I mean, there is kind of an art to searching like Google terms, like knowing what to say in order to get the right response. So that's what you're talking about, kind of, except you're feeding it to the AI, giving it the right like phraseology so that it knows what to go out and search. Is that what you mean?
Sort of. So if you think about Google as a search engine, right? Google has a what they call a web crawler, a little bot or a spider is another term for it. And what it's doing is it's crawling through the internet and it's finding content to put in its index. Sometimes it'll find a page and it'll say, well, this page isn't necessarily safe for visitors because it doesn't have a secure certificate, or the information I found on this page I've already found somewhere else, so it's kind of duplicate of something else. So it kind of crawls and decides what it's going to put in its index, right? Crawls, indexes, and then depending on how users interact with that content when they display it in their search results, they'll decide where they want to rank it over time in the results based on their searchers' behavior. But it's really just a database of URLs that it finds on the internet. Where AI, on the other hand, is almost like an information database, more or less than a list of websites that contain possible information. So it takes all the information that it knows from what you feed it, and that's where the controversy comes in: is who's feeding these large language models all this information? Is it Google, and how much is Google giving to their system called Bard? Is it Chat GPT and the developers who created it that can decide what goes into the amount of information that will be displayed or used by consumers? So that's where kind of that controversy comes from. It doesn't go out to the internet and explore and create and learn from it. Instead, it's fed information specifically by developers. And yeah, some of it does source from the web. I think Chat GPT went up to 2021 when they allowed it access to articles and things on the internet. But what it's doing, though, is it's in real time. These large language models in real time, when you punch in a question, are writing an answer in real time based on what it has in its knowledge base. Whereas when you go to Google and you perform a search for, I don't know, an iPad case or something, it's going to access the database that contains a list of websites that might be helpful, or a list of product listings, or a list of ads, or all three, to display those listings, to give you some options. So the difference, I think, is people who are depending on kind of where they are when they're searching and what their intent is, they're either looking for answers, which is where they'll go to chat and say, I need an answer to something, or they're looking for options, where they might bypass that whole generative AI section within the search results and go straight to the web results to look for options. So I think that's kind of the differentiator, is if, hey, I need an answer to something, we as consumers are going to get smarter about how we create prompts. In fact, we're getting smarter at how we create tools that enable us, that enable tools to create prompts for us, so that we can ask a question and the tool will come back with a follow-up question, such as, are you looking for this? Are you more interested in that? As opposed to us just punching in a question and expecting the right answer to come